What's up, everybody? It's me. It's Alexis and Maurice, and we need to talk. Like, seriously, we need to have a little chat about tonight's episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. That's right, I'm talking about season 9, episode 11. Thelma and Louise take Flint. So yeah, go ahead and pour yourself a glass of wine. Okay, I'm drinking on some Gatorade because I'm still doing my cleanse right now. Pull up a chair so we can talk about all the shenanigans from tonight's episode. Now, while I take my first sip and you take your first sip, go ahead and like this video. Make sure that you share it on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, all of that good stuff, okay? Because I need the whole world to hear what I got to say about tonight's episode. You do that, okay? You do that. So tonight's episode was basically all things Porsha. It was Porsha. Porsha's mad because her boyfriend quit his job. And Porsha's mad because she can't sit at the table and have a grown woman conversation with the other women. Porsha's sick. Porsha's fainting. Porsha. It was just all about Porsha. But before we get to Porsha, let's start off with, of course, Camp Phaedra up there in Flint. So Phaedra, kudos to you for putting your money where your mouth is. Like, you are a great philanthropist. You may be a liar, honey, and you may be fake, but you're a great philanthropist, and we cannot take that away from you. So Porsha put her money where her mouth was, and she had a camp up there in Detroit, in Flint, for the kids who've been devastated by the contaminated water in Flint, Michigan. To my surprise, they are still dealing with contaminated water. So President Trump, okay, I'm gonna need for you to make America great again, okay, and get these people some clean water. Since the city, the county, the state of Michigan, whatever, they can't seem to get it together, I'm gonna need for you to intervene on a federal level and get these taxpaying people some clean water up there in Flint, okay? Because it is not a part of the American dream for these kids and these people to be drinking contaminated water. You do that, okay? I'm gonna need for you to do that, President Trump. But on a serious note, it's good to see Kenya and Phaedra working together, mending fences, or they have mended fences, and they're up there, teaching the kids about self-confidence, having self-esteem, knowing your self-worth, knowing that you are pretty enough, that you are smart enough to achieve any and everything. Because believe it or not, little black and brown children hear all of the time that they're not good enough. Whether it's coming from family, whether it's coming from friends, whether it's coming from a teacher, they hear it all the time. So it's great to have someone come and remind them that they are good enough and they are just as good and great as the next person. And that regardless of their situation, where they come from, whether it's a broken home, the boys came and told their stories about their parents not having a relationship with their parents. The other little boy was talking about his brother was shot in the head 4 times. Even though coming from those backgrounds and those situations, you can still fly above or whatever. And it was good to, to see that King was teaching them girls how to twirl on their haters, even though Kenya, okay, girl, I need for you to get a new catchphrase, okay? Going with the wind fabulous and twirling and all that, girl, that's so 1886 and we in 2017. I'm gonna need for you to come up with a new catchphrase, girl, because you keep twirling and twirling and twirling. You gonna keep twirling and girl, you gonna twirl somewhere and we ain't know where the hell you gonna twirl at. You just gonna disappear because you just keep twirling. God. But it's good to see that Kenya and Phaedra, for the time being, they've called a truce. Although we don't know how long this truce is going to last. Because clearly, obviously, truly, Miss Phaedra lied, honey. She be telling all kind of lies and half true. But no, seriously, kudos to Kenya and Phaedra for Camp Phaedra up there in Flint, Michigan. And another person who running a camp out of her house is Kandi. Child, Kandi just be letting all the stray dogs move in with her. She got Cynthia done moved in. Kenya was talking about moving in the episode before last or whatever. Who else gonna move in with Kandi? But yeah, you got Cynthia staying over at Hotel Kandi. But Kandi, now I'm gonna say this, girl. Now if you're gonna let people stay with you, let them stay with you and don't be talking junk, because you was talking cash money of course, about Cynthia moving in and bringing her own cranberry juice and bringing her own Fruit Loops and stuff like that. If Cynthia was staying with me, I would be happy that she bringing her own juice and that she bringing her own milk and she bringing her own Febreze and she bringing her own Fruit Loops because she ain't got to use mine. Girl, Kandi, you might as well go ahead and let Don Juan move in. Go ahead and let Karma move in. Go on and let Aunt Bertha. Go on and let Freddie-O move in. Go on. Girl, can I come live with you? Let me go live in the... I ain't even got to have a guest bedroom. You can just let me sleep on the couch. Better yet, I'll bring my own air mattress, girl. But when you let me come, I am going to eat some of your Fruit Loops, and I am going to drink some of your milk, and I'm going to use some of your Febreze, okay? Let's move on to Porsha. So Carlos decided it was in the best interest of the audience to see more of Porsha tonight. Porsha. We needed to see what Porsha was doing and how she's living. Quiet as kept, honey. This was a good episode, and I'm here for all the drama with Porsha. But Porsha decided that, she was going to go out on a date night with her boo Todd. And Todd basically dropped the bomb and said, I ain't got no job no more. I decided to choose you over my career. And Porsha was like, hold up, excuse me, wait a minute, black man not working? Red flag. Now, here's my thing. What happened was Todd said that, on his social media, he had posted a video of him and Porsha. And apparently, it got like over 400,000 likes or something like that. And it brought a lot of unwanted attention to his job and his career. And so his employer was like, I can't have you working for me when you on reality TV and you trapped up with someone who, don't like to keep her hands and her feet and her objects to herself. So I'm going to need for you to choose between this job and your career and your girlfriend. And you know what he did? He went with the come up. He decided to go with Porsha. And I can't say that I wouldn't have done the same thing. But the gag is, Porsha wasn't having it, honey. She was just like, when I decided to reconcile with you, when I decided that it was in my best interest to hook up with you so I can get some sperm out of you to have this baby, I wasn't anticipating being in a relationship with you, and I wasn't anticipating you not working. But since you want to quit your job, he was like, well, baby, I chose you. And Porsha was like, well, I didn't choose you. I chose your sperm. I didn't choose you. So she's upset now because the dude decided to invest his all to step out on faith. And he wanted to build a life with Porsha, but Porsha ain't want that. Like, Porsha, seriously, you really thought that you can just roll up on this dude? He done basically raised his 2 kids already because his kids are in their teens or whatever. You say you want a baby. You think you just about to get my little soldiers and my little men and you ain't gonna get me in a deal too? No, but we don't work like that. So I quit my job. I'm gonna move down to Atlanta and we gonna see what it do. You about to buy a house. Go ahead and let me get up in there. Let me get some fame. He done got a little curly kit in his head and everything. He trying to look cute for the people. You already came up. Let me come up too. Or whatever. Porsha was like, no, she don't want to do that. Porsha, you selfish. You real selfish and you foul and you trifling for that, yo. But Porsha, on the flip side, girl, I'm coming back down to reality. I totally get where you're coming from. I totally understand where you come from. You got red flags going off, ring the alarm all over the place. Like when we first started this agreement, we first started this relationship, you was working, I was working. Now, all of a sudden, you ain't working no more. What you trying to do? Now, I got businesses and I got interests that I got to protect. So I need to try to figure out if you really in this to be in this or you just in this for the come up or whatever. So Porsha, this is probably one of the rare times when me and you agree. Keep your eyes on the prize, girl. Keep looking, because we don't know Todd like that. Now, from what you say, Todd had a good job, and from what he says, he had a good job too. Seemed like he was making pretty good money. So even if he quit his job, I'm pretty sure he has a nice nest egg, and he can afford to chill. Most smart-minded business people ain't just gonna quit their job if they ain't got no plan. Yeah, he may not have a job right now, but I'm pretty sure he can hold his own. But you got businesses, girl. You ain't trying to have nobody sue you for no child support or nothing like that. So keep your eye on the prize. I see you and we see each other. Okay? So let's fast forward on down to this restaurant, honey, the devastating dinner that they had. So Miss Phaedra was like, okay, well, I have a good idea. Why don't we go glamping? Let's go camping, but we can just make it, a feminine, all girls, pussy pink type thing going on or whatever. And so Kenya, girl, I love you because you know how to get you know how to get the juice. You got them keys, girl, the keys to the drama. You got them drama keys. Turn that key and turn on the ignition, honey, because it was full throttle at that point at that table. So come to find out, Kenya had said that Phaedra had told her that Porsha wanted to tell the girls about her what she go to, anger management, and she wanted to tell them about their progress and stuff. And Carlos, old messy behind, decided he wanted to throw in a little flash, throw in a little clip to show what Kenya was talking about. So Kenya wasn't lying because it was proof in the pudding. We saw the feed where Porsha had told Kenya that that Phaedra told Kenya that Porsha wanted to tell the girls about her anger management. But all of a sudden, Porsha's mood changed. And she was like, well, wait a minute. I ain't tell Porsha that. I ain't tell Phaedra that. Or whatever. And so it became this thing where Kenya was like, well, are you, so what is going on with your anger management? Cynthia was like, well, how are you doing? And, Kandi was like, well, are you really, going to anger management? Well, in my head too, Kandi, I don't think Porsha going to no darn anger management, child. She ain't showing no signs of progress. Now, do I think Kenya was being messy by bringing up the anger management thing? Like, I was on Twitter and a lot of people felt that Kenya was being messy. I ain't gonna say that she was being messy. I think she was trying to make a point, but she wasn't able to get to the point because Porsha took offense to it. And that's what Kenya was trying to say. Well, Kenya, don't you ask questions. How are you really going? We trying to figure out what are your triggers because we don't want to do anything to upset you because, girl, the truth is the truth. You done got into it with Kandi. You done got into it with Kenya. You done got into a physical altercation with Cynthia. And you got into the physical altercation with the other girl that we didn't see on the finale from last year. Like, seriously, you have an anger management problem. We just want to make sure, you got your triggers in check before we go out, out to the pond, before we go to the woods, girl, and turn into some Jason Voorhees and some Michael Myers type stuff. That's how they was trying to figure out, but you took offense to it. And then it turned into, of course, Porsha blaming everybody for all of her problems. She don't want to take no ownership. Kenya was like, well, I apologize, but clearly you didn't apologize. Well, no, I didn't apologize because you was poking something in my face or whatever. I didn't apologize to Cynthia because Cynthia hit me. I didn't apologize to the other girl because she was being disrespectful. It's just always somebody else's fault but Porsha's. It's like always. And then her and Kandi get into it. Well, Kandi, you gonna stop cussing at me or whatever. But Kandi was like, well, you talking about I'm picking back and I ain't picking back and I was asking you questions. And it just got totally out of control. And I was here for every bit of it. So as usual, it got too hot in the kitchen. So Porsha was like, you know what? I ain't got to take this. I'm going home. So she walked off. She stormed off. She was upset. Then Phaedra running behind her. Then Kenya running behind them too. Now Kenya and Sheree too. Sheree's so messy. I love Sheree. But Kenya, now I'm going to say this to you. You better be careful, girl. You keep poking the bear. Porsha was like, you trying to get a reaction out of me, Kenya? Why are you down here? Phaedra was like, Kenya, you need to go because I don't think it's in your best interest. Girl, she had... Phaedra told you up there in Flint that we didn't had enough of the scepter. That didn't work out too good for you. So we don't want you to get beat up on the streets either. Or whatever. But Kenya was going down there. She was poking at Porsha. Trying to get the other girls to come up. Well, I think we all need to go. No, if she was gonna leave, Kenya, let Porsha leave and leave her alone. So Porsha got in her car. She sped off. So then they in a little huddle. Cynthia's like, well, what's going on? What's she getting so mad for? She can't even have no grown woman conversation. And it was talking. And Phaedra was like, I'm going to call Porsha back. And Porsha came back. Now, Porsha, what the hell you came back for? The point of a dramatic exit is to leave dramatically, okay? To leave upset. To say bye-bye and never come back. But you decided that you want to bring your behind back But then he was like, well, I'm not sitting at the table with them. I'm not sitting at the table. So the other girls, the other grown women, they laugh or whatever. So Sheree, you know, Sheree's always in the middle of a good conversation, honey, because as you can see, she ain't gonna do that but go back next week and spill the tea to the other girls. But anywho, they were sitting down talking, and you know, and Porsha was like, well, Phaedra, why did you tell Kenya that I wanted to sit down and talk about my anger management? I don't want to talk to Kenya about none of that. And it was clear that Phaedra lied. Phaedra, you need to stop being fake. Now, why you lying? I think what you was trying to tell Kenya was that, you know, maybe Porsha can share with y'all. But Porsha never told you that she wanted to share with them. And if I was Porsha, I probably would feel the exact same way. Kenya is not somebody who I'm going to divulge and just overshare a lot of information with because we have a tumultuous past or whatever. But what's her name? Porsha was like, listen, if you're going to let her back in your life, you need to be careful. And I'm not here for it. I ain't going to let Kenya nowhere up in my personal space because she ain't going to do nothing but use that information against me. Just like she tried to spill the tea on Sheree, saying Sheree was in an abusive relationship. Now, Sheree hadn't already told us that when her and Bob was over there in Spain, Bob was at the bar buying drinks for another girl, and she came over here and confronted Bob, and Bob threw the wine in her face, and she said she just started swinging. Listen, Sheree ain't here to play with none of these hoes. I'm so glad Sheree got her peach back, but I do want Sheree and Kenya to be friends. So I'm hoping, you know, the next 10 to 12 episodes, she'll somehow jump on the other side or whatever. But Kenya, you can't be bringing up people dirt. Now, this show done been on the air for 9 years. We never knew Sheree was in no abusive relationship. So you ain't had no business bringing it up. But girl, like I said, you got the keys. It's a messy world. This show is about mess. Somebody got to start slinging the shit all over the place. Somebody got to do. I was trying not to cuss, but I just had to cuss on that particular point. But Porsha says she's here. She's dressed in black and she's ready to dead all these hoes or whatever. So we gonna see what's gonna happen on the next week's episode. But get into this tea. Did y'all see Nene Leakes on Watch What Happened Live tonight? Honey, if you ain't see it, you need to go back and go watch it again because Nene was spilling all the tea. So clearly, Nene is not here for Porsha and she is not here for Phaedra anymore, child. She said she ain't talked to them since the reunion. And Porsha was on Watch What Happened Live last week and she tried to tell Andy that she had called Nene a couple of times, but Nene was like, she ain't called me. Matter of fact, Porsha going around telling people she ain't know we stayed in the same neighborhood, but Porsha, girl, you came to my luncheon at my house. You know how Nene do, child. She's so extra. But honey, go watch what happens live because she was spilling all the tea. And from what I gathered, it's Nene, Kenya, Kandi, Cynthia on one side, Sheree in the middle, and then you got Porsha and you got Phaedra on the other side. So, child, I don't know what's going to happen, how this season going to play out, but Nene, honey, she was spilling all the tea on Watch What Happens Live tonight, and I was here for it. So go watch it. But I'll see y'all next Sunday. Bye, girl.